always kept it straight. This is not for y'all. This is not for the money. This is for me. While y'all thinking that I'm just doing it for the money, I believe that I can.
Terence Crawford has finally responded to Errol Spence about running back their undisputed fight from 2023, which would be next year. Crawford, now one of the biggest names in the sport, wants the rematch to happen at super middleweight. Spence, seeing the situation, is clearly trying to make the most of it.
Gave up a lot of stuff, but my main objective was to make the fight happen by any means. Even though my people wanted to, after a while, they wanted to walk away from the fight because out of just all that outrageous demands, and then when you meet his demands and he moves the goalposts.
Yeah, nah, he's nice as hell, but I'm at the point of my career. The money right, I'll fight anybody. So
the fact that Crawford isn't shutting Spence down is surprising. Just yesterday, the new undefeated super middleweight champion was asked about Spence calling him out, and he gave a very enthusiastic response. He said if Spence can make it to 168, he's ready. It's no problem for him to fight him. Crawford added that he still has a few matches left in him.
Like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if that's the next move for me in my career.
But that burning desire not to lose, where does that come from, that competitive spirit?
And it's just something in all the greats. If you look at all the greats in any sport, they always was hungry to be the best. They wanted to prove that they was the best. They wanted to show the world and show everybody.
An ideal matchup for Errol Spence Jr. would be moving up to face Terence Crawford. Spence believes he's big and strong enough now, especially after being out of the ring for a while and putting on extra weight. He said Crawford is the next opponent he wants at 168 and that he's ready to fight. According to Spence, the agreement they made before is still in place.
Without him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
Canelo Alvarez lost to Terence Crawford on September 13th, and now Crawford holds the super middleweight world titles without a single defeat. This sets up the perfect situation for the two to meet again. Crawford has stacked up more major wins than anyone recently, including beating Errol Spence Jr. 2 years earlier. That's one of the biggest reasons he wants to face Spence again.
He said the Jose Benavidez fight was probably the toughest fight of his career. And I think you said back in the day you had your way with him in sparring. Is there anything to take away from that, or that you take away from it?
No, not at all. I mean, it was a good fight. He fought a one-leg Jose Benavidez, and it was the toughest fight of his career. That says a lot.
What does it say?
It's interesting that the two reportedly started talking again a few months after canceling their fight last year. Crawford had even said in private conversations that he would be willing to face Errol Spence again. He later changed his mind, even though at that time it seemed like a better move than fighting Canelo Alvarez. Because of that, Spence went on social media and called people out. Meanwhile, many boxing fans don't believe their first fight was close enough to justify a rematch. To them, asking for that kind of payday again makes Spence look desperate.
I'm walking over my feet. I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and they want to enjoy me. So
some fans say Spence only wants the rematch for the money. They keep reminding him you should never jump back in with someone who almost destroyed you in what was supposed to be a 50-50 fight. The gap is now more like 90-10. Are you really sure you can beat him this time? You want to go after the same man who dominated you 2 years ago. And this would be your first fight since then. Some fans were brutal. They told Spence he should not fight Terence Crawford again, especially after being inactive for so long. But Spence says he is ready, even if it means facing something tougher than the car accident he survived years ago. Some fans mocked Spence, saying he must really want to get punched again or end up back in surgery fixing his eyes. They warned him this is not the way to go out. They said he should recover, get back in shape, and return slowly. They admit he is still good, but believe Terence is far too tough for him right now. They praised fighters like Fundora, Thurman, and Tim, saying those matchups make more sense. Others added that Spence has not learned from the Tim fight. He struggled for 8 straight rounds, took heavy damage, and into a huge challenge that completely threw him off. Fans think things are getting worse for Spence and say stepping in with Crawford again would end badly for him.
Definitely, it was exciting, the whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that, you know, I wouldn't change for nothing, and I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. You know, like everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. You know,
not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame
right now? No, how?
Yeah, he's right, dude. He's right.
How? You know, he fought in one division. You know,
never unified the belts.
Some fans added that Spence should leave PBC altogether, arguing it's no longer the best place for a fighter trying to rebuild. They pointed out that all of Spence's planned fights at PBC keep falling apart, so it isn't surprising things aren't moving for him. People were telling him, "Bro, get out of PBC. It's not what it used to be. Go somewhere new, regroup, and take the right fights." They suggested he should focus on opponents like Thurman or Tsayo first and stay far away from Crawford, who they believe is on a completely different level right now. One fan even said Crawford shifted the whole dynamic after beating Madrimov, and maybe he only replied to Spence just to shut down any hope, when really he should have ignored the call-out entirely.
Did unify?
You know, he unified.
Was it?
He had 3. Yeah, the
WBC, he didn't unify all 4. He wasn't undisputed.
Huh?
He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. You know, he beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
Like I said,
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. You know, so you know, what I'm with it. So you know, I'll be going for Bud.
Because their first contract included a rematch clause, many believed a second fight was inevitable. Crawford himself felt he still owed Spence something, even though he dominated the first bout. And going into any rematch, Crawford would obviously be the clear favorite. If Crawford and Spence meet again, the main question would be whether Spence can look like a different fighter at 154 pounds. At this stage of their careers, both men looked different after their respective weight cuts, but Spence looked significantly worse both before and during the first fight.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him or, you know,
I understand
things like that, but
right.
I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolade.
Crawford stopped Spence in the 9th round of their PBC fight in 2023, and the terms of their contract included a mandatory rematch. But months went by without any public movement toward a second fight. Spence eventually elected to undergo cataract surgery, and according to his camp, that medical decision nullified the rematch clause. With the contract no longer binding, Crawford became completely free to choose his next opponent, regardless of promoter or broadcast network. Canelo Alvarez ultimately passed on facing Crawford, believing the matchup didn't make sense for him.
I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that. Because when I beat him, then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident.
Right.
He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't be. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said,
so you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like, look, yeah, because you know it's different on TV than when you watching it up close in person.
Errol Spence Jr. is in the middle of his career. He was once a dominant welterweight champion, widely respected and undefeated. While he hasn't officially announced retirement, it's unclear if he'll ever return to the ring. For over 2 years, fans have been wondering if they'll ever see the old Spence again. He was once considered one of the world's best athletes, well-liked and unbeatable. Then Terence Crawford arrived. Before their fight, it was almost a coin toss. Both men were evenly matched, and expectations were high. But once the bell rang for their middleweight clash, things quickly turned against Spence. His struggles only intensified after that fight.
If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. Yeah. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he doing.
When they finally faced off on Saturday night after a long wait, Terence Crawford shocked Errol Spence. For the first time in over 40 years, Crawford became the undisputed welterweight king and made a strong case for being the best boxer in the world, regardless of weight class. The action was decisive. The first major moments came in the second round, followed by more in the seventh. Judge Harvey Dock ultimately stepped in at 2:32 of the ninth round. Fans who paid $19,990 to watch the fight at T-Mobile Arena likely wouldn't have minded if the stoppage had come even sooner.
Have a fish fry come Saturday. Man, you gotta calm down, brother. Cause listen, man, things can get real sticky real quick, and then everybody would say, this is what we do every time we come out. This is what we do when we come out. Social media.
Many people said the fight between these two undefeated American boxing stars was the best the sport could offer. The matchup had been in the works for over 5 years. After a fairly even first round, it quickly became a showcase of Crawford's skill. His power, accuracy, and ring management were on full display. He looked so dominant that it seemed the 35-year-old Nebraskan had never been tested before. Crawford made history by becoming the first fighter since Lloyd Honeyghan stopped Donald Curry in Atlantic City in 1986 to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously, a major milestone in boxing history. Crawford had already been a champion at 135 and 140 pounds, solidifying his legacy across multiple weight classes.
Got the confidence to come out there and just be like, okay, well, even the skills to say, all right, let me see how you gonna take a punch to the chin. Let me see how you gonna take a punch to the body. Let me see how you gonna react when you can't bully somebody around.
Good, I just hit the ball.
Okay. So my mind was, you know what I mean, you know, it was racing a little bit. And I was like, man, how should I come out? And it was like, man, just come out boxing.
It was clear that Crawford was the superior boxer, dominating his opponent until the ninth round. After the fight, he held the undisputed welterweight championship for a brief period before moving up to junior middleweight. Now, Crawford appears to be heading toward a high-profile super fight with Canelo Alvarez. Meanwhile, Spence, hailing from Texas, hasn't been seen in the ring since 2023, when he suffered a decisive loss to Crawford. The question is no longer if Spence will return, but when he will make his comeback.
Listen, just like you talking, just like you doing all that talking, bro, it can turn deadly real quick, but on both sides. So why not support, listen, why not support your fighter,
It's been almost 2 years since Spence last fought. At 35, he's not old by today's standards, but he's no spring chicken either. If he returns to the ring, he would still draw plenty of attention and big paydays. There are some notable opponents to consider. Names like Errol Thurman and Natinchu come to mind. Spence will need to face these challengers seriously when he comes back, and he'll likely spend time preparing before stepping in again. He isn't really to blame for the break he took. As long as he's committed to putting in the work, there's no reason to fault him.
Along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes?
And people say, oh, well, maybe it was the weight or whatever the case is. What do you think about that? Like talking about the weight at 154?
I wouldn't worry about that. I felt stronger than him. You know, I felt that I punched harder than him. I felt as if I hurt him.
Boxing is an incredibly tough and dangerous sport for the body. Crawford's powerful punches left Spence badly beaten, and previous fights, like those with Kell Brook, may have taken their toll as well. On top of that, Spence survived a serious accident that could have ended his career. His journey has been risky at every turn, and while he's faced setbacks, Spence is likely to return. True warriors fight through adversity, and he is no exception. It would be exciting to see him back in the ring, provided he's fully healthy.
in the fight.
Yeah.
I just felt like, you know, he came prepared and he was ready and he fought a good fight.
Yeah.
He was awkward. He was patient. He was determined. He stuck to his game plan, and he did what he had to do.
Errol Spence recently wrote on social media that the worst thing he had ever done was drink and play sports. Gervonta Davis, who is fighting Lamont Roach tonight, also commented on Spence's post, saying, "The worst thing I did to myself was drink. In sports, always keep your eye on the prize. I hope everything is okay with you and your family." Many considered Spence's fight against Crawford to be his best performance, even in defeat. However, his most recent outing received criticism, with some fans claiming he isn't as sharp as he used to be. Spence recently responded to the criticism in a post on X, formerly Twitter, clarifying what he meant and addressing the doubts about his current form.
A lot of people say, "Oh, well, he's money hungry. He's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that." I've been getting money for years. I've been getting money for years. And I'm not stupid with my money. As you can see, I don't buy no Ferrari, Lamborghini, or, you know what I mean, walk around with 100 people around me and got all this jewelry that I ain't bought.
Before losing to Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. held the unified welterweight titles, WBA, WBC, and IBF, and had been winning consistently from 2017 to 2023. Fans expect that when the 34-year-old Spence returns, he will likely face a top-tier opponent he hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. Recently, Terence Crawford, the undefeated two-weight champion, made some harsh remarks about his former rival, which added tension. They fought in 2023, and Crawford won decisively. Since that fight, Spence hasn't returned to the ring. As the former undisputed welterweight king, Spence could have called for a rematch with Crawford, but he hasn't done so yet.
He got caught. He should have boxed a little bit more, but, things happen. You got to learn from him.
Spence had recently discussed a potential fight with Sebastian Fundora, the WBC and WBO super middleweight champion, but despite much back and forth, the matchup never materialized. After that, many fans began to believe Spence might never return to the ring. Meanwhile, Crawford continued to excel. The Nebraskan is now set to face Canelo Alvarez in September. Speaking to a host, Crawford said he could retire now and be in the Hall of Fame, but like everything he's done in his career, he's still working to finish on his own terms.
Heavy trash, has crazy power that he believes in. He has a great chin too, because he's a guy, he'll let you go.
Crawford also pointed out that he had fought across multiple weight classes, having competed in 3 divisions at the same time. He acknowledged that some critics questioned his weight, especially after certain fights, like his win over Kell Brook. While Crawford had impressive victories, including against Sean Porter, he admitted that not everyone sees him as a Hall of Famer yet. Some of Crawford's comments are accurate, but fans and professionals have voiced disagreement. Kevin Cunningham, a well-known boxing trainer, responded, saying that Errol Spence Jr. has done enough to earn a place in the Hall of Fame. Olympian and 3-time welterweight world champion Erickson Lubin also agreed, noting Spence's standing among the top pound-for-pound fighters.
Tanking the game. Basically, I like tank who's gonna keep coming, and if you feel like you don't have enough power, he'll keep coming and show you that you ain't got no power, and then
Spence's record is already among the best in boxing, and his fame grew even more after defeating Canelo across 2 weight classes. No one has ever been able to beat him. Throughout Crawford's career, there were moments when people doubted his ability to defeat top opponents, yet he consistently proved them wrong. If Crawford faces Spence at super middleweight, he would be the clear favorite, plain and simple. We share the latest boxing news, highlights, stories, and events on our YouTube page as soon as they happen. Make sure your alerts are on so you don't miss updates like this. Until next time.